Lisandro Martinez just went down in a World Cup final, and now Manchester United have a decision that could define their whole summer. That's coming up, but first, PSG just opened a door, and it leads straight to Old Trafford. Manchester United have been offered the chance to sign Bradley Barcola. Yes, that Barcola. PSG's flying winger, pace for days, end product to match. According to RMC Sport and The Sun, PSG have given him the green light to explore a summer exit. Not just to United either. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Barcelona, all offered the same chance. Think about that for a second. One player, four of the biggest clubs in England, plus Barcelona. And United are in that conversation too. Now, normally when a name like this gets offered around to half the continent, fans roll their eyes. Agent talk, fishing for a new contract. But this one feels different because PSG themselves are the ones opening the door. Not Barcola's camp, PSG. Ask yourself why a club that good, that stacked, would even consider letting a player like this walk. That's the part nobody's fully explaining yet. Here's the catch though. PSG want more than 70 million euros. That's not pocket change, even for the clubs chasing him. And right now, Bayern Munich are the favourites. Bayern, not United, not Arsenal, not even Barcelona, despite the interest from Spain. Bayern Munich are being talked about as the club to beat for Barcola's signature right now. So where does that leave United? Realistically, this is a name to watch, not a deal that's close. But the fact PSG even opened this door tells you something. Barcola's future in Paris isn't as settled as people think. And when a talent like that becomes available, United tend to at least ask the question. And here's the open loop. If Bayern's interest cools even slightly, or if the fee drops as the summer drags on, don't be shocked if United's name climbs back up that list. Keep that name in your head, Barcola, because this story is not finished. Now let's talk about the midfield, because United aren't done there either. Manu Kone remains one of the names on the table for a third midfield signing this summer. Contacts have already been made with his representatives. Fabrizio Romano confirms that much. But, and this is important, no bid has been submitted to Roma. Not yet. And he's not the only option being considered. Here's why this matters. United already brought in Youri Tielemans and Andre Santos this summer. You know it. Combined fee around £85 million. And internally, United are delighted with both signings. They believe they've already landed two top quality midfielders. So why go again? Because the priority now isn't quality, it's profile. United wants someone defensive, physical, someone who can break up play, sit in front of the back four and do the ugly side of the job that neither Tielemans nor Santos are built for. Picture the midfield United are trying to build here. Tielemans, the guy who can pick a pass and control tempo. Santos, young, energetic, box to box. And then a third piece, someone who just wins the ball back and lets the other two do the pretty stuff. That's the gap. That's the exact shape United are trying to fill. That's where Kone comes in. He fits that description almost perfectly. Roma know it too, which is exactly why United haven't rushed a bid in. Clubs don't chase hard for a player everyone already knows they want, not without testing the water first. This one could take time. But make no mistake, the interest is real and the plan is clear. United want a defensive midfield enforcer. Kone is on the list. He is not the only name on it. So who else could it be? That part hasn't been confirmed, but the profile is set. Physical, disciplined, a destroyer, not a creator. Whoever it ends up being, that's the type of player walking through the door. Now here's one that might surprise you. Manchester United are considering a move for a Leicester City defender. Not a name most casual fans know yet, Ben Nelson. 22 years old. Leicester value him at around £10 million. And United aren't alone in this one either. West Ham, Torino, Borussia Mönchengladbach, all showing interest in the same player. So why does this matter for a club like United? Simple. It tells you they're not just shopping in the super club price bracket. They're scanning the whole market. Value picks, depth options, squad players who could grow into something more. This is the part of transfer business fans don't always appreciate. everyone wants the headline 9-figure move. But it's these £10 million signings, the ones that slip under the radar, that sometimes end up being the smartest business a club does all summer. Nelson is one of those names right now. Keep him in the back of your mind, because sometimes these £10 million stories turn into £40 million headlines a year later. Now, this next one is big. Manchester United have joined Chelsea in the race for Nico Williams. Athletic Club's electric winger, Spain international. According to reports out of Spain via Barcelona press outlet El Nacional, both Premier League clubs are prepared to trigger his release clause. €90 million. Let that sink in. Two Premier League heavyweights, both willing to pay $90 million for a player who's already said before he loves it at Bilbao. This isn't a rumour built on desperation. This is two clubs looking at their books, looking at their targets, and deciding Nico Williams is worth that number. But here's the twist. It's not just about the fee. Both clubs are reportedly ready to offer him a significantly better contract than what he's currently on at Athletic. So now it's not a transfer fight anymore, it's a persuasion fight. Money, project, ambition. Whoever sells United's vision the best could walk away with one of the most exciting wingers in world football. And that's worth sitting with for a second. United trying to convince a player who has publicly said he's happy at home that Old Trafford is the better path forward. That's not a small task. That takes more than just a release clause and a bigger paycheck. That takes a genuine pitch. Chelsea are here, United are here. Is this the summer Nico Williams finally leaves Bilbao? We'll see. But this one is heating up fast. And with a release clause on the table, this isn't a story that drags out for months. Clauses like this move quick once a club decides to pull the trigger. And now, the story I opened with. Lisandro Martinez, forced off in a World Cup final. For any defender, that's already one of the worst possible moments. For United, it's a moment that raises a question they can no longer avoid. With the new season closing in, do United go back into the market for a centre-back? Think about where United already stand. A host of midfielders brought in already. Tielemans, Santos, possibly Kone next. The middle of the park is being rebuilt piece by piece. But defence? That's the part nobody's talking about yet. If Martinez picks up anything serious, United's depth at centre-back gets tested immediately. And this is a club that has been burned by defensive injuries before. They know exactly what a thin squad in that position looks like when it goes wrong. And that's the uncomfortable truth here. You can spend $85 million on midfielders. You can chase wingers with release clauses. But none of that matters if your backline can't hold up for a full season. One injury in a World Cup final, and suddenly the whole summer plan gets a new headline. So now the question isn't if United need reinforcements, it's whether this injury forces their hand early. Fans are already reacting, some saying United can't afford to wait and see how Martinez recovers. Others pointing out the club just spent big in midfield and might not have the budget left to move fast on a centre-back too. Both sides have a point, and that tension, spend now or wait and assess, might be the defining decision of United's whole summer. Barcola watching from Paris, Kone waiting on a bid, Nelson quietly being scouted, Nico Williams caught in a two-club tug-of-war, and now a centre-back decision that might not have been on the agenda a week ago suddenly is. United's summer isn't slowing down. If anything, it's speeding up. Every one of these stories is still open. Every one of them could change by the time you finish watching this video. But what do you think? Is Nico Williams actually leaving Bilbao this summer? Does Kone become United's defensive midfield answer? Does Barcola's name come back around once Bayern's interest is tested? And after Martinez's injury, should United be moving for a centre-back right now? Let me know below. See you to the next video.